Hello and welcome back to the NBA DFS Slate Breakdown for Wednesday, October 29th. For those of you that always watch the show live, I'm sorry. Just couldn't do the live show today, in a bit of a hurry, and also haven't fully figured out the choppiness that we saw yesterday. So just going this way so you guys can get it live without the choppiness. Now let's dive in. I'm your host, Tyler Wiemann, and come join us at Lionstar. $39.99 per month gets you access to all we do, the props, the DFS. You get it on the mobile apps, on the website, all the projections, all the tools for every sports. And as always, you can cancel at any time. Is easy. No questions asked. Just press that cancel button. We also do have a free trial. If you've never tried us out before, come try us out for free 7 days. Now let's dig in and check out the fun we got going on today. It is 9 games over on FanDuel. It is 7 games over on DK. DK does not have the late games that FanDuel does have. Now, let's jump over to FanDuel and check our highest owned at the point guard position. We got Russell Westbrook at 4,800. My man went off last night with that surprise start, played 30 minutes. The game before it was 27 minutes. We've seen he's slightly be above 1 fantasy point per minute now at this point in his career, and I don't mind going back to him in this spot if he's starting once again. Likely that he does play 27 minutes regardless if he's starting or not. I'm fine going there. 4,800 is still cheap enough in a decent spot versus the Bulls. There's not a lot of pivots that I like today. So I'm going to do our best to talk about them or, put some scenarios out there that could give us pivots later. Drew Holiday, 6,500. He is versus the Utah Jazz, which has been an absolutely great spot. Utah Jazz play at a very high pace. This is one of the games that has the highest pace of the day and a 235.5 total. The biggest thing about Drew is his role with Portland is way different than it was with Boston. He has that ceiling back in his game again, and it looks like he's turned back the clocks, but really what it is, he's running the show again. It is more like he's back with Milwaukee, and he's, the 2 to the Giannis 1. But in this situation, it's more even like a 1B to Denny's, say, 1A. What can I say? I'm going to keep riding it while it's here. He's been playing over 1 fantasy per minute ball, and we're going back to the well. Shaedon Sharpe is the one at 6,200 of these 2 high-owned guys that I would fade. Look, we know there is a ceiling with Sharpe. He can get there, but I think Drew is just taking up too much usage for Sharpe, and a much safer play is going Drew at similar ownership. Ja Morant at 8,300. I don't mind going there. Suns have been a great matchup versus point guard for years now. They haven't been quite as bad versus point lately, but I think they're going to have their day. And this is another Memphis plays at an incredibly high pace. The Suns don't play at a very high pace, but we got a 241.5 total, and it's only a 1.5 game. The other thing is that Ja has done well versus versus Phoenix in the past. Last year, 50, 47, 44. The year before, pretty much all mid-40s. He's going to play, 31-ish minutes. I don't mind getting some Ja. Dante is fine. Don't totally love it. Josh Giddey, I do think, is a little bit overpriced, but don't mind getting there. Now let's get into some pivots. 8,600, I don't mind Trae Young. He has Porzingis there, so he's not going to suck quite as much usage up, but the ball's still in his hands a ton, and the ceiling is there at 8,600. He's, a full 1,000 cheaper than he was when he ended the season. And we know he can put up a 50 burger whenever. D'Angelo Russell at 5,300, I do think is interesting. We have Cooper Flagg dealing with a shoulder injury. He played 30 minutes last game, 29 the game before that. And the ceiling is obviously there. I mean, the last 2 games, he's been around, 6x or better, and the minutes are there. As long as the minutes are there, D'Angelo is always produced, and he has the minutes right now. So I don't mind going back to that well. Keaton George at 6,600, 4.5-star alert score. This is another guy, the role has changed. There's no Sexton, there's no Clarkson, and with that, he is playing big time minutes. It's a very fast-paced game. Portland can play some solid D. They have some really good defenders, but I still don't mind getting to George. The upside is there for him. I think you could do worse than going to him for sure. Oops. Accidentally hit back there. So getting back to the pivots here. Now, these ones are more, I guess, theoretical. The Pacers, we got Mac McClung, who could be activated and then in the lineup tonight. And then Ray J. Dennis, who are the only real active point guards for the Pacers. The Pacers are extremely beat up. There's a chance that one of these guys plays big time minutes and they're cheap, so I don't mind going there. McClung, when he's got his chance in the league, he's played okay. He just hasn't got many chances. And then Ray J has been over a fantasy point per minute so far, but, very small sample size. I would doubt he holds that. Bright Bones Highland, coming off the bench, he played 16 minutes last game, 19 the game before. But with how beat up Minnesota is, without Anthony Edwards, I do think there is a path for him to play extended minutes, and he's a guy that has produced. It doesn't feel great, but we're, scratching at straws here, trying to get different. I actually think a lot of the chalk is pretty good chalk today, and that's the issue I see with the slate. Hopefully we'll get some news that kind of shakes it up and changes what chalk is here and not. Cam Thomas, 5,200, in a great spot versus the Hawks, and this guy has a giant ceiling when he's on. And when the game's close, he's going to be playing 32, 34 minutes. So if Brooklyn can keep this game close, which, it's an 8.55 spread, so that is questionable, then I do think there is a big ceiling for Cam Thomas. And the way they keep it close is Cam going to town and filling up the bucket. So I think Cam's a little interesting. Not going to go overboard on him, because I do think there is definite paths to failure, but I'm fine getting to some. Austin Reeves, every time that we've been in this situation where it's Reeves with, say, no AD, LeBron, Luka, it's him running the show. He's produced, and man is crushing it. A 9,300, his price is up there, but I don't mind going back to the well there. Shaden Sharp, we covered. Dante, we covered. Pivot, George is the only pivot. So let's get on over to, let me catch up to guard here on high own for DraftKings. Westbrook, Dennis, Thomas, Shepard. We pretty much covered them all there. Russell's popping up as well. Shepard is interesting. He played 32 minutes last game out. They have, the same injury situation here. He's going to play a ton. We have him at 32.5 minutes. The issue here is that he's only been a 0.64 fantasy point per minute guy as a starter. Now, it's only 2 starts. He's been better than that coming off the bench, so I would expect that to come up a bit. But the usage is going to go to Siakam. It's going to go to Naismith. It's going to go to other guys other than Ben Shepherd, and that's the only worry and why this point per minute would be so low. D'Angelo, we covered. Jamal Murray at 7,800. He has the ceiling to get there. our projection is high enough, so makes some sense to go there as well. And the consensus projection on him is pretty solid as well. So let's get on over to small forward on FanDuel. We got Reeves, we got Banchero, Minot, and Michael Porter coming in high owned. Reeves, we talked about. Banchero, he's an extremely good player, has a very high ceiling when he's on, but pushing 9K is a little high for him when you have Wagner and Bain. Bain should take some usage from him this year. So maybe he's, not the 1.22 fantasy per minute guy that he has been in years past. Now, the other wrinkle is that he is still developing and he's still getting better. The ceiling warrants it, but I don't absolutely love the spot, even though we do have the Pistons being 26 overall versus power forward. I think throughout the year, they're going to be a little bit better versus power forward than that. Josh Minot, if he plays big time minutes, he is interesting. He played 28 and was on fire. Did well last game. This is a way tougher matchup, though. So, I mean, if he's going to play 28 minutes, I'm fine going there, but I don't expect him to be a 1.19 fantasy per minute starter again. There's just too many guys that need the ball in their hands in that Celtics lineup to continue at that pace, but he's decent chalk. If he starts, he's going to get minutes. Michael Porter at 6,400. Atlanta 5-star alert score. It's an absolutely great spot. He's at 0.9 fantasy points per minute over his last 5, which is very similar to what he was at in Denver. And I mean, it's a great spot. You can't really say anything bad about the position. The Hawks 30th overall versus power forward. He has big time upside. I really thought that he would be like a more 1.0, 305 fantasy point per minute guy with Brooklyn, because I just thought his usage would go up a little bit without the likes of, Jokic, Jamal Murray there. But we haven't seen that yet. So I am, re-looking at the spot. Now, can he get 38 minutes or 36 minutes? The game's close. There's that possibility. And at his price, he definitely can pay that off. So I'm fine having some, but again, I'm not going to go overboard. Bain, I do like as well. Pivot wise here, we got Moravia. He played 29 minutes. So far with the Lakers, his points per minute hasn't been all that great, but with Sacramento, he could produce and he's going to play some minutes. So definitely like him at 4,300. I think that price is just a bit too low. On to power forward, we got AD, Banchero, Porter, Jarris Walker. Jarris Walker at 4,800. I think there's better spots we can go for value in this spot or in this slate, and there's more value opening up here. Julius Randle, 7,900. Look, he has 4 straight games of 41 plus, and there's no AE. He gets a giant bump up without Anthony Edwards in this lineup. I think Julius Randle should be one of the higher owned guys, and right now that's just not the case. So I'm all over Randle and Siakam. Without Halliburton, without Mathurin, he soaked up usage last game. 24 shot attempts, 25 in game 1. That was the double OT, but if he's getting, 20 plus shot attempts, he's regularly going to end up with 50 plus. So I'm fine going back here. They're hurt. They need him. He's going to have the ball in his hands a ton. I think Pascal Siakam is a good play, even at his elevated salary here. Now, let's go to FanDuel, check out the forward spot. No surprise here. It's, all Pacers. They're banged up. You're going to have to play some Pacers today. It's in a good matchup. We have AD popping up a little bit here. I'm okay with AD at 10.1K. He has the ceiling. He's consistent. He's going to be right around 550. The problem is that I don't love his chances at 60. And that's really what we need him to hit to pay off his salary. It's a decent spot versus the Pacers, though, who are banged up. So I don't totally hate it, but I don't love it. PJ Washington at 6K, I'm fine going here. He keeps getting it. We've seen him for years be around a fantasy point per minute. He's 6K and he's playing, 34 plus minutes or 32 plus in almost every single game. One of 29, but that was a total blowout. 39 in a close game, 32 in a 10-point game, 38 last night in under a 10-point game. We've seen they will give him run. Lively and Gafford once again are doubtful. So without the center, it's likely that PJ Washington is going to play a big time minutes again. I like him and I would play him over AD, and I don't love having both of them in the lineup. Jay Huff at 3,300. He only played 16 minutes. I just don't think he's really going to be involved regardless. I can't get there. And onto the center spot, we got Jalen Duren at 5,700. He is too cheap. He has a giant ceiling. 40, 50 point ceiling. He's probably only going to play, 24 to 28 minutes. We have him at 26.5, but he's a 1.24 per minute guy. The issue here, he's versus Orlando, so a very, very tough spot. It brings this 1.24 probably to more like 1.15, 1.18, something like that. But at his salary, that can still pay off. He just needs to get a little bit hot, and there's definitely the path for it. He can also do it in that steals and blocks category. So a little interested, definitely going to have some, but it is a very, very tough matchup, just like Cleveland was last time out where he threw up the dud. So I don't mind going there, but at his price, I think 5X is likely. And then you have that chance for 8X. That's the whole reason he's chalk, and I don't mind having a little bit of that chalk. AD, Jokic at 2.1K versus the Pelicans. He can absolutely smash them and has in the past. The issue, I think it is probably a big time blowout where the games where he's gone 70, it stayed close. Now, with all the injuries on the Pelicans, I think it's going to be very hard for them to keep this game close, especially in Denver. However, if he does, we got 70 point upside, and I would absolutely love getting to some of that. Rudy Gobert is the other pivot. Look, he's like the same price as Jalen Duren, but he's in a much better spot versus the Lakers. Lakers do have Jackson Hayes back and Ayton there. So there are two centers active tonight, but he's going to get, 26 to 34 minutes. He is no longer the player that he was, where he was like a 1.1 plus per minute guy. He is more like 0.9 now. But we're going to see spurts where he puts it together in good matchups. And this is a decent matchup. They're allowing a lot of rebounds. They can, get blocks. They can turn the ball over, especially versus a, beat up Lakers team. So I don't hate it. You get a double-double with a couple blocks, and he's paying off this salary. And it's 100% feasible in this matchup and going low owned. Let's get over to center on DK. We got Jokic, Tony Bradley. Bradley at 3,500. Played 25 minutes off the bench last game. If that happens, he can definitely pay off his salary. I would rather go to him than go to Huff, who's a little bit cheaper. Our projections support it as well, and the consensus projections support that. Porzingis, I don't hate it at 7K. I have talked about how this is a total shift from Boston. He's just more ingrained in this offense. The issue, 26 minutes and 26 minutes. Also hasn't been big in the rebounding department yet. So I think there's bigger days coming. If he can hit the boards, he can get a couple rebounds. The point should be there, and the potential for that 40-plus game is absolutely there in this spot versus the Nets, who are awful versus center. So I don't hate that one either. That's going to do it for us today, guys. A quick roundup of the whole slate, going hard on really looking at the chalk. I think this is a pretty chalky slate, and right now it's pretty hard to get different. I think you might want to get different trying to do some, awkward player combinations rather than just throw in a couple low-end guys. All right, guys, that's going to do it for us. Hope you have a good one. Please come join us, Line Star, and